everyone's talking about your article, All Eyes, Realize, which, is a famous Tupac line. But can you tell us a little bit about, first of all, who are you and when did you start writing? What do you do? Tell us a little about qualifying you as a writer. Who are you?
Okay, hang on. I'm just trying to sort out my tabs here. Alright. I am at the moment, I'm 18 in New Zealand. I was doing a bit of studying in writing and journalism studies and things, and I decided that I didn't want to get into all that student debt. So now, at the moment, I'm trying to do my own journalism through blogging and things, and um, freelance journalism and things like that. So at the moment, yeah, I'm trying to cover real stories that matter and don't get as much reporting on as they currently do.
Hmm. So is that so? What was the Tupac connection with you? What was the thing that made you write about him?
Yeah, sure. It's quite funny how it started. I'd always really been into Tupac. Some of my friends got me into his music, and I never really thought I would end up writing that article I did about him. It was really over the space of about a year. I was looking into it and saw this crazy video on YouTube, saying Tupac's alive, check this out. And I was a big Tupac fan at the time, so I decided that I would look deeper into it. And it was only then that I started finding out all these things that were already out there. And it led to about a whole year of just looking into this for myself and seeing all the new articles come out. And to this day, new things have been coming out constantly. Rapper YG, I'm not sure if you saw in the news just recently, said that he thinks he's alive, and there's just that article I wrote was basically a huge collection of articles out there I had seen, but felt like it would be better if they were all in one place where everyone could see all of the information. So that was what inspired me to write it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think myself and a lot of people that are going to watch this, everyone is a
Mm,
skeptic because, Elvis was alive and all kinds of artists were
yeah,
always alive. So, but Tupac,
totally.
there's so many irregularities, that it
Absolutely.
kind of
Yeah.
makes you wonder. And I think what you did is you pieced together all of these pieces. Why don't we start with like in the beginning? What was one of the first things you found out that made you kind of dig deeper?
Um, Definitely the fake photo of him being the last photo of him being alive. I thought that was very. That's how the very first sort of thing I found out was the fake photo of him in the car next to Suge Knight, and it just seemed too weird to me that, like you say, the irregularities in it, and it just prompted me to look further, and that's how I uncovered a lot of the other stuff that was out there, and I also, yeah, I mean, it was basically one thing led to the next.
Wow. And then the fake photo, was it something you found out or you found it somewhere?
This was on YouTube. Yeah, this was a video on YouTube that I saw because YouTube is and has been now full of conspiracy videos of Tupac's death. But a lot of people were saying, "Oh, these videos, they don't make much sense and all this." But when you look at all of the information collectively, that's when I start to see, there's actually something more to it than just the photo. There's a whole heap of things. Especially the interview with Tupac's mother. I'm not sure if you saw it, is something I probably should have linked on my article, but basically it is an interview with Afeni Shakur, and she is saying, how times were really getting tough for Tupac, and he felt like he needed to quietly take his leave. It
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense with, of course, all the people who were out to get Tupac, that something like that could possibly have taken place.
Wow. Yeah, but you hear all these things. I've heard everything from, when Tupac returns, he's the Antichrist, and all of these crazy
Yeah,
theories
I
out
saw
there.
some of those comments as well. Yeah.
But so how do you? Well, let's go back to the evidence as we go, further into your article. So you start with that photo. Then what was the next thing that kind of, in your article, what's the next thing that you moved to from that photo? Because the way you did it chronologically, by the time you get to the end, you're convinced. It's like, wow, it's here, the proof is here. So what's the next thing after the photo that was kind of like something odd to you?
Yeah, no, I'd been quite addicted to finding out whatever I could about it, and I had watched a lot of documentaries out there about Tupac and his death, and as well as a lot of old news reports, and it was watching them that I sort of started to realize that actually there's more than one account being given here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. There's the article.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm putting the pictures up. See, I'm learning with this Google Plus. So I see this is a fake photo, right? The key is not in the ignition.
Yeah. And I've had a
or
few
is there
people
a
in the
key there?
comments.
I don't know.
I've had a few people in the comments also notice that the date is not right either. That's something I hadn't commented about in my article that some of the commenters were talking about.
So the date is not the date.
The date isn't correct.
Wow. Well, that's a big one then.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
quite
but is that? I mean, it could be Photoshop too. I mean, so. But yeah, there's a lot of things that don't make sense, especially if the car's moving. Let's say that Suge's looking forward. Then
Yeah,
it wouldn't be steady shot.
did you hear that Suge Knight said that he got shot in the head, with this ridiculous measurement? I forgot what it was, but it would have meant that what he was describing would have been the size of, the bullet being the size of his head hitting him. He was saying he got shot in the skull and alive and all this stuff, but it just seemed all too far-fetched for me to buy into that. But the main thing, like you were saying earlier, after I had looked into that, I sort of started looking into all these different news accounts that were being relayed by different people associated with Tupac. And that's when I sort of started to realize, well, there's got to be some form of cover-up here. Someone's got to be lying. And that's when I came across the footage of a bystander, a witness who was there that night, claiming that she had seen Tupac hopping into a helicopter with some police officers and things. So that was very interesting for me at the time.
Was it a reliable? Is the video out there? Can people search for that video?
Yes, yeah. It was broadcasted on the news stations over there in Las Vegas, and yeah, it was an official media report, and it was basically a bystander, a woman who now is working on Extreme Makeover Home Edition or something these days. She was saying that she had seen what she found out was Tupac getting into a helicopter, which is very interesting. And then the other reports of Tupac were that of Suge Knight claimed he rushed him to the hospital. And at the same time, while he was claiming that, the mainstream media reports were saying that no, Tupac has been taken by an ambulance to the hospital. So I mean, there were three different relays of how he even got to the hospital in the first place, which I just thought was very flawed.
Yeah, wow, that's it. See, everything is deeper and deeper and deeper. All right, so there's eyewitness reports that change the story. There's many stories on how he got to the hospital.
Yeah.
I think one of the really great evidence pieces that you have here is how did you do this? Had that picture? You have it? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I actually took this. This was on a YouTube video. It was very hard to find. But I did find this video where someone had faded out gradually, and all I did was screenshotted the video second by second, frame by frame, so that I got this really nice, easy to go through and look. And to me, it's very obvious that that's his military photo.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's exactly the photo. It's
Yeah.
it's what keeps you reading. Because after you read that part, you're like, okay, let me listen a little closer. And then you mentioned something that I think a lot of people think about too. Is like, well, why go through all this trouble? Like, why not just, go move out of state? Like, why go through all this trouble? What have you found out will be some of the reasons for this?
Why what?
Why go through so much trouble? Why, fake your death and have all these
Right.
dramatic pieces? Why do all that? Why he's
Well,
rich, so he could have just went out of
I
state.
think I mean, sure. I think Tupac did have quite a crazy life. He had a lot of people at the time who he had a lot of enemies with, and I think that something like this, on the face, I had always grown up believing Tupac got shot at the MGM Strip. It was something I'd always never questioned, but it was only until I started looking deeper into the facts for myself that I started to find out that there's a lot more to it than what was actually ever officially reported. These photos, these fake photos, and all the mismatching media reports. I think why he went to all that effort was, if I can't imagine myself being shot, and he was shot, was it 2 years before the '96 shooting in New York?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he survived that. And then I found out that was reading on the internet that in Vegas, being in the state of Nevada, being a payoff city, that if you had actually had a attempt on your life, you were able to legally fake your death for your own safety reasons. So I think why I believe Tupac would have gone to all this trouble is for his safety.
Wow. It's a difficult thing to do for any human being. So it's another coincidence or another piece of proof, however you want to see it, that Tupac chose, or that he got shot in the state of Nevada, and that's where he died. Because
Yeah,
in case he did come back, uh, there's no problem with the law. It's
yeah.
completely legal there, right? Is that what it is?
That's what it is. That's right. And so, I mean, I think Tupac had been planning this for quite some time. He wrote a lot about this sort of stuff in his songs. There's a lot of lyrics alluding to exactly, it's quite chilling. Some of what he says in his songs about what he had been planning. And it really, when you start to see everything, not just one part of the story, but really a full scope, it, that I believe is what what gives the article life. People can see, like, I'm giving them. I have done this for my own research, and I believe that the new way to approach news and media is to go out there and do your own research and due diligence, and you could be surprised at what you find.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've done an excellent job with this article. Everyone that's watching this, if you haven't read it, go to blogspot.com, and it's called Realize dot blogspot. I'm gonna post it. It's gonna be at the bottom of this video anyway. The link to the article, so everybody can go there and you can critique it or look at it or believe it. But it's definitely a well done job, Felix, what you did here. Moving on to the next part of it, where you mentioned the lyrics. I mean, he was definitely like
Yeah,
his lyric was. I don't think he ever rapped about something that was fake. I think his lyrics were always very heartfelt. They were really truth, at least to his feelings. So yeah, so why would he rap about death and all of these things that make it seem like he was going to come back? Why would he do that if that's not
exactly.
his style? He's not the type that just rapping about make believe. So why do you think? What are some of the lyrics that you found were the most revealing? Like, what are some of the? Can you tell some of those words?
Yeah, one in particular that stood out to me was because when Tupac was in jail, he read up on some of these books by a Italian war strategist called Niccolo Machiavelli, and he had wrote about faking one's death to escape your enemies. And in that book he wrote, he stated that there were 10 rules, and then out of those 10 rules, it's very interesting. In one of Tupac's songs, one of his lyrics, he's heard as saying that there are two rules to this game, and that I'll share with you too. and that 10 rules to that game, knowing that he had read the book by Niccolo Machiavelli on advocating on how to fake one's death, that stood out to me. But there's so many out there, and I have got them all in my article. I don't know if I can remember all of them off by heart, but yeah, he definitely raps about it a lot in his music videos. He foreshadows of his death. So I've got a few of the references for the songs to check out as well.
Wow. Yeah, no, I was reading some of the lyrics, and they're definitely deep. They're about just exactly that. Just changing the name. Why?
Yeah.
Out of all, there's billions of names in the world. Why that particular name? I think he was very smart about how he did things. So another point of why it is proved that he may be alive. So and also, but the story gets a little bit better, if it could, where there's a new rapper out now, right? Is that
Casanova the Don?
Accurate? What's his name?
Casanova the Don.
Casanova the Don, which sounds like a name he would use. Like it sounds like that would be a name he would change his name to. I mean, it sounds very Tupac-like. So tell me a little bit about this new rapper out here, and where is he? Like, what's going on with that guy?
Well, Casanova the Don, he is. This is quite funny, I must say, because he actually emailed me over this article just last night. Personally, he got in touch with me, and he wanted to. I think he appreciated the article, and I thought, heck, I might as well ask this guy if Tupac's alive. And so anyway, I'll go into that a bit more once I've said a bit more about who he is, because it's quite funny. But Casanova the Don, he is a rapper, up and coming new rapper. He's quite a young guy, but the big thing about him is his voice sounds eerily similar to Tupac if you listen to some of these songs. And I have listened to all of his songs that he's put out, and to me, I believe that this guy is a front for Tupac, and I believe that he's not even making any secret of it either. A lot of people ask this guy, "Oh, are you Tupac? Are you Tupac?" And he says, "Oh, well, of course I'm not Tupac." But this guy could easily be the guy fronting for Tupac, the name and the face.
Oh, okay. So you say like it's a guy, and then maybe Tupac's voice is on the record, but this is a guy that sort of takes the image, so that way Tupac has an audience out there still.
Yeah, that's what I believe. And if you hear some of his songs, it's quite amazing, because there are moments in the song where you hear two voices rapping at the same time. And I believe that the Casanova himself does rap on some of these songs, but it's a mix between Casanova rapping on these songs and Tupac. I believe what sounds like Tupac rapping on these songs. Some of his lyrics, some of even the things he's saying. They're talking about Machiavelli and all about his plan. How to. It's quite amazing, really. I would definitely urge people, if they haven't checked out Casanova the Don, to have a look at the link I included below of my article, where you can have a listen for yourself and again judge for yourself, make of it what you will.
Wow. And just going back a little bit to some more of the evidence, where I'm looking at the picture right now of the autopsy, right? And is that, first of all, there was a lot of questions about whether that was even Tupac on the autopsy table. But is Tupac on the autopsy table? If not, what is that? Who is that? And then the tattoo. Like, could you tell us a little bit about this picture here?
Yeah, this picture allegedly came from, it came from a Las Vegas Suns reporter called Kathy Scott, and she wrote a book not long after his death called The Death of Tupac Shakur, and in it she claimed to have gotten this photo, this leaked to her, from an anonymous source, and she would never go on to disclose whom it was from. But the thing is, I've looked into this as well, and a lot of people are saying who have worked in coroners, marketplaces and things like that, that to be able to obtain a photo, firstly, is like, and be able to publish it, would be next to impossible. And and again, another reason why is if you look at the photo, there's many details that don't add up, because everybody knows that any real, Tupac fan knows that not long after his death, Tupac got a tattoo on the right side of his neck saying Machiavelli. And in the autopsy photo, it's very clear to me and others that this this tattoo on his neck can't be seen. So I believe what they may have done with this fake autopsy photo is they had tried to make it appear that he was dead, but maybe they realized, they forgot to realize Tupac actually went and got a tattoo that said Machiavelli now.
Wow, that's deep, because they have the other things there, like the thug life on the, but that
Yeah.
could easily be done.
It
Again, a
makes
lot of
It almost makes me think that that maybe Tupac was leaving clues behind, because I think there's so many things that have been left behind that just don't make sense. That it's almost as if it was deliberate. Why would he? If he had faked his death and planned his death, then I'm assuming this autopsy photo had been planned. And maybe the tattoo on the neck was just another thing to be able to get people questioning.
Yeah, I mean it's deep. It's definitely deep. Another thing about talking about the autopsy is that they did it the next day or something like that.
Yeah,
What
they
happened?
cremated the next day. Nobody has seen Tupac's body in the casket, and also the most stunning piece of evidence with the cremation, to me, that doesn't add up at all is Suge Knight. There's a video of him online going on record saying that he paid the guy to cremate Tupac $3 million. And he says that, I don't know where Tupac is, but the cremator does. You can go ask him. But why would you pay a cremator $3 million to cremate somebody supposedly the next day after they died? For any good reason other than paying someone off? For me, it's a blatant payoff.
Wow, that's even more evidence there. So yeah, and it doesn't make sense that a crime, a body that's been part of a crime, is going to be.
Absolutely not. It's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Okay, so that's another one. Now the picture under it, I have a little, because I see where you're saying that they took that picture from. Are you saying that they literally photoshopped it, or it's just an idea? Because why would you do some? Why? Yeah, exactly. Okay, because I was gonna say, yeah, it would be too. Why do all of that of a music video when, if Tupac really is alive, you could just maybe have him pose. If you really wanted to take a realistic picture.
A pose.
Yeah, like they would just tell him, stand here, or sit, go, act like you're dead here. He's part of it. So, but moving to the one that was even better as far as proof is this coroner's report and the whole Social Security. Tell us a little bit about that. That's very very hardcore proof.
This was to me a little bit of a smoking gun, which is why I sort of put it down towards the bottom, because I believe this is quite bizarre when you really think about it. The Social Security number on his official coroner's report is still active. If you look it up, you can go on websites that let you search in American Social Security numbers, and you can do it for yourself and find out that the details of where this person who owns the Social Security number is from wasn't born in the same place as Tupac, and that it's still active. So it's for anyone who goes and again does the investigating and looking into things for themselves, they can really uncover answers that aren't being put out there that rightfully should be.
Wow. Yeah. So All right, so that's a lot of evidence, obviously, that that don't make sense. Now, let's say that Tupac is alive.
Sure.
When would he come back? And what's your case for that? Like, is he following exactly Machiavelli's rule, or what's going on as far as timing and coming back if he was to come back?
Well, in my opinion, yeah, I don't know if he's going to come back. All I know is I've looked at a lot of the information out there that didn't get as much attention as it should have, in my opinion. And what Niccolo Machiavelli did, he advocated for faking his death and then coming back 18 years afterward. And if Tupac did come back 18 years afterward, it would have to be after the day that he had been shot. So he was shot on the 7th of September and then so-called passed away in the hospital 7 days later. But in my opinion, if he were to come back, it would have to be after the day he had been shot.
After which one? Where? I'm sorry?
The 7th of September, because that was the day he was supposedly shot in the car with Suge Knight, and he wouldn't come back before 18 years had been up.
So 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years. I think that's when the date everybody is watching it now is once it has been an official 18 years to see if he's going to come back or not.
Wow. So the 17th, I'm trying to look at the date, 17th of September?
The 7th was the day he was shot.
Okay, so 7 days later. Okay. Wow.
So if I had, like, I'm not sure, all I know is that 18 years after would mean that it would be the 7th of September, or that was the day he was shot, but he so-called passed away on the 13th.
Okay, and then how do we, and this is just going a little bit off, to the left field, but how are you maybe with Tupac and he's using you to kind of start this publicity thing and hopefully start people talking some or are you just doing this on your own completely?
I am doing this on my own. I'm only 18, and freelance journalism is something I have a real passion about. If Tupac is out there, I would love to be able to meet him. He's been he's been really growing up with his music. Has, I'm sure, gotten a lot of people through a lot of rough times. And yeah, he really, regardless if he is alive or not, he's always going to be a legend. But that sort of brings me to something I was wanting to mention earlier, because Casanova the Don actually emailed me last night about the article, and I asked him, after it, he said that he said to me that he wanted to do business or something. I didn't really understand it. I was talking a bit short-winded. But I just think, I'd be happy to help any way I can. And basically, he said he wanted me to put Casanova the Don more up to the top and get the word out about who Casanova the Don is. So that sort of prompted me to ask this guy, is Tupac coming back? And he responded to me and he said, I can't tell you that, but this is going to be huge. So that's where the conversation ended, and it's left me wondering today what that's all about.
Wow. So, if everything that we believe is true, or if everything we read is true, then you could actually be talking to Tupac right now as Casanova the Don. And
I have no idea.
Yeah, that's really exciting. At least just to think about it, because I think we all miss him. And we wish, he would have been with us longer. So if you do have that contact with him, let him know that a lot of fans miss him. I'm sure he knows. But also, what do you think is going to happen if he does come back? From your own opinion, I guess, as a journalist, what would happen?
Sure. That is something I have wondered as well. And I still believe that the welcome would be warm. People would be happy to see him back. I think we sort of need him to come back. You know? If he's out there, it'd be crazy for him not to come back. You know, he could really change things in the music industry for the better. I think the music industry has really gone down since his time and what rap was like back then. The message that he spoke with his music really was something positive, as opposed to a lot of the stuff that is out there today. And I just think it would give people a bit more hope that real artists with real messages out there, you know, they do exist. And here's an example.
Yeah. Woo. Okay, this has been really eye-opening. I hope everybody goes and reads your blog, especially just to conclude. I just want to touch on the Cuba thing, right? There's some pictures about someone that looks just like him in Cuba, actually even a little older. You know, like it could be him. So, where you get these pictures? Like, where can we find all this information?
I screenshot that out of it was I wrote this article a year ago. I screenshotted it out of the Cuban rap video that I heard about online. You know, a lot of my article is a compilation of my research over the years. But I can find that video and I can put it in a picture in the article for anyone to go and see it. So I'd be happy to update that tonight with the link of the YouTube video.
Okay, great. Yeah, so everybody that's watching this, tell them where to find you, where to send emails, questions, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, sure. So my blog, you can contact me via the blog form with any questions you have. I'd be happy to answer any way I can. Realize at blogspot.com, as you can see on the screen, be the best way to contact me and check out the article. And also Casanova the Don, because I think it's quite interesting if you hear the music for yourself. Quite amazing comparisons.
Wow. So and then Casanova the Don, where is he? Is he in the United States?
Yeah. I'm not sure where in the United States.
Okay, so yeah, so nobody really knows. Have you done any research on him and see if?
Yeah, Casanova the Don. He has an official Facebook page. It's worth checking out. He posted a picture just the other day of the same photo, the same last photo of Tupac and Suge in the car, except instead of Suge in the car with Tupac, it was a picture of Casanova the Don next to Tupac. So he's a lot of alluding to Tupac being collaborating with Casanova the Don on his Facebook page, and it's where he releases and things like that as well.
Wow, this is so exciting. I mean, we're definitely going to keep in touch with you, and you had to come from New Zealand all the way over here to kind of put all this information together that was right in front of us. And if Tupac comes back, I think we're all going to be really, really happy. I think we'll be really excited for the world. I mean, this will be. Yeah. I don't think anyone's pulled this off if he's able to do it.
But you know, he's a legend either way, and we won't know. But I still believe that the information that as I've written in the article, I feel like that's finding some justice and getting as much of the information out there as we can possibly. I never would have thought that we've got this on his views, and I'd be talking to him and things like that. But I'm very happy that I was able to help people see some of the information out there all in one place.
Well, thank you so much, Felix, for joining us, and keep doing what you're doing, because if you can do this well, this young, I'm afraid of you when you're like 45. Who knows what you're going to uncover out there. So thanks so much for joining us, and everybody read the blog, Realize, Real Eyes, Blogspot. The link is right there, and it's the bottom of this video. And if you just search Blogspot and Felix and what should I say, Watkins, Felix Watkins. I'm gonna put all the information here, but make sure you search the blog, check it out, and read it. And you know, you don't have to believe it, but it's gonna be hard not to. There's a lot of information there. And listen to Casanova the Don. Check them out on Facebook. I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying, just do your own research here.
Do your own research. Yeah. Have a listen for yourself. Don't take my word.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Felix. So we'll definitely be in touch. Thanks a lot for doing this.
Thank
All right.
you.
Have a good night.
All right. Yeah.